Good afternoon. For certain groups, it's necessary to set strict requirements for access to work accounts. For example, to prevent internal information leaks. In other words, it's important to set up access control. An employee can work on their computer only when they're in a specific location, like their office. You can set up access rules for company computers, for example, using Active Directory, a hierarchically organized data store for network objects. With it, you can easily search for and manage this data. The computer running Active Directory is called a domain controller. In Sigur, you can enhance the functionality of Active Directory by adding territory movement control and account blocking features. The feature blocks an employee's account if they are outside the permitted zones. For example, when they have left the administration building of the company. Different employees or groups of employees can be assigned different access zones where they are allowed to work in the domain. All accountants will have access to the domain directly in the accounting office, as well as on the administration floor. We explain in detail how to set up zones at a site in a separate video. I should note that Sigur does not limit the number of Active Directory domain controllers you can use. Let's look at how to set up account blocking in Active Directory. To enter the settings, go to the File menu and select Active Directory Settings. You can add or remove a domain from the list by clicking the plus and minus buttons. In the Domain field, enter the Windows domain. In the Address field, enter the DNS or IP address of the domain controller, specifying a connection port. If you don't specify a port, the default port is used. For example, an address is entered with the port specified 192.168.0.99.390. In the Administer As field, enter the username and password of the account that has permission to edit Active Directory on the server. Check the box Synchronize Account Status in Active Directory to enable this feature. Note that you cannot specify paths to built-in accounts or to the domain controller administrator account as the DNG name of an employee. After disabling such an account, the ability to work with the domain controller may be permanently blocked. It is also not recommended to assign the same DN to different access objects, as this may cause the system to function incorrectly. Next, on the Cardholders tab, you can assign a domain where the access object's account is stored, specify its identifier in Active Directory, and also create a list of allowed zones. Let's select the domain we created earlier. Specify the DN for the employee's account without including domain information. A unique name consists of one or more relative unique names separated by commas. They are listed in order up the hierarchy, starting from the account name. A relative unique name has the format attribute equals value. Attributes can include account ID, common name, last name, location, department, organization, domain component, region, and country. For example, let's enter the account for Ivanov Ivan Ivanovich. It has the DN Ivanov DP sales. Let's check the box Synchronize with Active Directory. Next, you need to specify the list of allowed zones. The employee will only be able to log into their Active Directory account while in one of the permitted access zones. Specify Inner Territory. After making changes, click Apply. Now let's check how the configured settings work. Employee Ivanov Ivan Ivanovich is on the outer territory at the bottom of the screen on the Cardholders tab. When trying to log into the user's account, the system will display a window access being denied. The Monitoring tab. Ivanov Ivan Ivanovich registers passage. He will be on the inner territory. Now, when he tries to log into his Windows account, Ivanov Ivan Ivanovich will be able to sign in successfully. I should note that Sigur offers another way to interact with Active Directory. With the additional Data Synchronization module, you can set up periodic retrieval of employee parameters and Active Directory attributes. We have a separate video about this. So, we've looked at how to block an Active Directory account if an employee is not in the corresponding access control system zone. Thank you for your attention.